Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Stage 4 Maw. So I have got my 2 older girls coming to talk about how me being diagnosed with cancer twice and then it being incurable has affected them. So I'm doing this in my bed, I've got my jammies on, they've got their jammies on. We're being chill because I want them to feel comfortable. But I just wanted to say a wee quick introduction to the reasons why I told the kids, especially when they were so young, the first time. So I had decided I wasn't going to tell them when I was told that Indy was coming early. I said, do you know what? They don't need to know. I was diagnosed on the Friday, and then by the Monday, my midwife phoned me and told me that it would be best to tell them, just in case they picked up conversations that me and Paul were having in the house, because as you can imagine, it was a bit chaotic at that point. We weren't always being careful with what we said in front of them, and like, kids have got ears and listen, they hear everything, like they really do. So we decided, so I was like, do you know what, we'll sit them down and we'll tell them. And I'm glad I did, because as soon as I told them, they were like, oh Mum, is that why you had to go and get that big scan that you were scared of? And that was so they knew, and the midwife was right. They were just going to sit and catastrophise what was going on, and making up things in their head. And as Amelia and that will tell you, they didn't really know much about cancer, and what they did know, it wasn't very good. So the fact that if I hadn't told them, then they would be like, my mum's got cancer, and automatically assumed the worst. So I thought I would do a wee introduction on it, but I'm just going to go and get my girl. Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Stage 4 Maw, when I am joined with my 2 older girls, Amelia and Kennedy. So we are going to speak about how they felt when I was diagnosed with cancer and how it affected them at school and just in life in general. So Amelia, you want to start and say, like, can you remember when I told you?
Yeah, so the first time my mum told me, well, it's not the school's fault particularly, but we never talked about it a lot in school. So when I first found out, my mum just brought us into a room and she was like, this is what's happening, and it's nothing to be worried about. And the only thing I knew was like, are you going to die? And my mum was like, no. She just brought that positivity, so that was great. What about you? Do you remember anything?
Can you remember?
I know, I don't really remember when you told me, but I remember how I felt, and I just
so how did you feel then?
I kind of felt a bit worried and all that, but I kind of had hope that you'd obviously survive it, and obviously you did.
And
but
did you have any how can I say did you have any idea what cancer was before? Did you know?
I was watching a YouTuber at that time, and I'm I kind of knew what cancer was, but I didn't know how serious it was. But obviously now I know how really bad it is. But
well, yeah, it can be bad. So that was the first time when Indy was born. Can you remember me going through treatment and stuff like that?
Yeah, I remember. It was really difficult. It was just really difficult for me and Kennedy as well, because we didn't really. My dad was a massive help as well. Because weren't you away for 2 weeks or something?
Yeah. When I had Indy, so
it felt like months.
I know. When I had Indy, I was in the hospital for a week, and then she got transferred to St John's. I came home for 2 days, and then went back into room in where I was rooming in where for the Saturday to the Wednesday, and then that on the Thursday would have been 2 weeks that would have been in the hospital. So aye, and obviously when I was home, I was in the hospital with Indy as well. I wasn't really here, so I can imagine that would have been hard.
I mean, my dad would have these movie nights with us. We all got to pick a movie. We got sweets and stuff to get our mind off things. Cole was young, so he didn't understand what was going on.
I remember
we were young
finding
as
our
well.
hamster crawling on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Snow White was just crawling, and that's when we found our hamster.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah, you were lying watching the TV and she crawled in.
Yeah, and then like we just remember like when you came home, like we told you, and like you're like, oh, you found her, and it's like
That's right, she went missing.
Yeah, but I still remember that, and it did feel really, really empty with the house without you. Like, yeah, that's what I remember about
Right,
you.
we were like having movie nights and stuff like that with Dad and stuff. What about when I was going through treatment though? Can you remember like me going through treatment the first time?
Yeah, I remember you being like you were really, really ill. I just
Yeah.
remember that, like you were really, really ill.
And what about you, Kennedy?
I just kind of remember like you like some days like you're just like not you couldn't be bothered, but like you were
No,
really
I
ill, like you
couldn't,
couldn't move, like you couldn't like do basic things. You'd need help to go to the toilet or like do simple tasks.
When I had treatment the first time, I ended up with like a big cyst in my back. Like I couldn't walk or anything like that for days. It felt like, so Paul had to help me to the toilet and stuff like that. That time was quite traumatic.
Yeah,
Going
I feel
through
like,
it.
I
I
mean,
feel
like,
like remember going to school like feeling worried about you and all that, and I'm just like,
like it was horrible. Like I still remember when, like, I don't know if you've said this on the podcast,
No.
like when you were on with Indy, like you'd wake up with like warning, but you woke up like with blood all over the bed and stuff, and I remember that.
Right, so
that was
was
horrible.
before I was diagnosed. So can you remember that?
Oh yeah, I hated it so. It's still like I remember it fully, like all the nights when it would happen. Like I remember my dad would maybe call my granddad and be like, "You
That's
need to come.
exactly what happened.
You need to
So
come now. We need to take you on to the hospital and stuff." And
when
I hated it.
obviously when I was pregnant with Indy, I was bleeding, so that was one of the signs of the cancer. So when it became, so when I was bleeding, which obviously alerted the cancer, but obviously before that we didn't know what was happening, so it would just happen randomly, and I would like be in bed and I'd get up and there'd be like loads of blood and stuff like that. So it was quite concerning and obviously quite panicking for the kids.
Even though like my mum tried like trying to brush it off, like everything's okay, like like you were just like, Kennedy, she was just like everything's okay.
Yep.
And like, and you would cover up the bed straight away because you didn't want us seeing it.
Your arms. You keep moving your arms. Right, so you remember that. And what about the second time? Can you remember the second time? What do you
like-
remember about that?
Like the second time of you telling us.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Like that's when I got really, really concerned. Like I just got, I don't know how to explain. I started like sobbing because I genuinely thought that I would never come back again, like the doctor said. But
Yep. No, it's one of these things that it might come back, it might not come back, but obviously the fact that it's came back and it's came back with a vengeance is a bit scary.
yeah,
So, anything you want to say or talk about?
I remember like when the second time you told us, I was just really like, I don't know how I felt. Like I have a word for it, so I tip of my tongue, but I was just
Take your
like I was shocked. I was like, I didn't expect it to come for a second time. I just thought it was like, it was one and it done over, and then like I was like really worried like when you had to shave your hair, because like last time you didn't have to like the
To do
first
that,
time,
yeah.
and I was just like really concerned for you. So.
Yep. I think because of the like having to shave my hair and stuff like that, I think that panics you a wee bit more, because with it being funny, but I looked ill the second time because I didn't have hair, I didn't have eyebrows, I didn't have eyelashes, whereas the first time I was like able to keep my hair, so that was
Yeah.
quite good.
Yeah.
like I hated the second time. It was really, really alarming. It kind of brought like you back to reality. Like this could come back.
I know, it's quite scary. It's quite scary. And obviously, what did you think? So this is something that I think you wanted to talk about, Amelia, about how the school dealt with things. You didn't think the school dealt with things
Yeah,
very, very well.
I remember my mum calling up the school, and she was just like, "Look, this is what's happening. Like with me and my family, like I'm just wanting you guys to know. If like maybe like the kids are upset one day, like I just want you to know this is what's happening. And I'm pretty sure they just said that there's nothing we can do, and they hung up.
No, so what actually happened was, it was the first time I was diagnosed. I phoned and spoke to the head teacher after being advised from the midwives and the health visitors and stuff like that to actually contact the school to let them know it was happening, to keep an eye out for any changes in the girls. So I'd phoned the school and told the head teacher, and she basically said, well, we would be looking out for changes anyway, and put the phone down on me.
Alright, I thought there was just like there were nothing we can do.
No, they didn't say there was nothing they could do, but it was kind of
Yeah.
that. And also there was times that people weren't very nice to us at school, weren't there? No, but didn't like be
Yeah.
carefully names and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
It was specifically towards Kennedy though.
it was Kennedy that there was people that weren't being very nice to Kennedy, and mentioning me having cancer, which is something quite surprising. I would think,
Yeah.
like, if I thought any of you two were being rude to somebody that was unwell at any sort, even just having a cold, I'd be angry at you. But some kids just didn't understand the severity of it until it's actually happening to
their
them.
family, yeah.
Yeah, and like,
Sorry.
I know, so you can talk.
Alright. I still remember the day like Kennedy just came in to the house greeting because of what somebody said to her about my mum.
Yep.
And it was horrible. My mum, like, I felt like my mum was kind of hurt by it.
Aye.
Kennedy
I
was
liked
really, really hurt by it.
it. It was more because I seen Kennedy hurt by it,
Yeah.
to be fair. Kids will be kids, and I actually, like, one thing I will say is kids will be kids and they don't understand what's going on with stuff like that, because they don't know, unless they actually are going through it, they'll no understand, and they maybe didn't, like, cancer to them is maybe somebody having a cold, like, they don't get it, but that's fine. Like, so anyway, we'll stop talking about that, so anything else that you would like to say, like, for your perspective, like, you got anything to say, Kennedy, because you seem like you do.
I don't know, like, I just think kind of about, like, school, like, every time, like, I was sad or something, they'd always assume, like, they'd always, like, be like, oh, is it because your mum has, like, cancer, or, like, is it, like, you're
Right.
thinking about it, and I'm just, like, you don't need to assume anything, like, I could have just, like, fell and hurt myself and cried, and then you'd be like, oh, well, did you, like, is it because your mum has this, and I'm just, like, you don't just assume that.
No, definitely no. It's no the reason, like, you could fall out with your pals, doesn't mean that that's the only reason you're allowed to be sad. What about you?
I just want to say, like, my friends were very, like, my friends at the time were supportive of it, and they supported me through it, so my friends were supportive of it, and they just, like, they made me, like, they sometimes cheered up my day.
Right, good. Anything else?
No.
Because there's so much what's happened, I'm just like, what else? Like, because I've
I
not
know.
said everything.
No.
That's only like a small part of it.
Right, well, talk then. Just
Well-
talk.
Well, the first time I do like remember, like, because like my teacher, because I was in primary 4, she was very, very supportive. Like, she was like, she would check up on me, but not like just bring it up. She would just check up on me, like, oh, how's your mum doing and all that stuff.
Yep.
And I felt like that was really nice of
Yep.
her as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that's mostly it.
Right, okay. So, are you got anything else you want to say, Kennedy? Just for your
not, like,
perspective.
For the first time around, I think it was like about P5
Uh-huh.
or something.
Uh-huh.
Lots of my, like, not most of my friends, but some of my friends, like, as you can remember, like, kind of distanced themselves from me, like, go behind,
Uh-huh.
just go behind my back and, like, talk about it, because I thought they thought that I was, like, just gonna make my whole self about that, and, like, I was
Right.
gonna be using that.
Right, okay. So you think that they would thought that?
But then some people stayed with me, which
No,
I'm pretty
that's
grateful
good.
for.
Oh,
That's
well,
good.
about saying that, like, when you said I could, like, you know, like, because I was like, can I tell my friends? And you're
Yeah.
like, just keep it there now,
Uh-huh.
and just wait till we get this over and done with, and we make sure,
Yep.
and definitely that I have got it, and it's
Yep.
not, like, just been a miscommunication
Yep.
with doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And when we actually found out, yeah, I've got it again, I was, I had a fear that my friends would be like what Kennedy said, that I made it up. Because people online obviously made it up. Like, there's still people who make up like disorders and all that stuff online. And that's why I was scared if they would think that. I don't think they did think that though.
No.
Because they were my friends. I feel like since we were a bit older at that time, they knew like the struggles with it, and I don't think they thought that. But that was just like, I still remember that feeling like what happens if they think I'm faking this?
I get you, because sometimes I feel like that. I sometimes feel like people like know that, because people do fake cancer, which is actual terrible, but like that's why I didn't want anybody to know until I knew for 100% that it was that, and I was getting treatment and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
that's
right, girls. Well, thanks so much, and I think we'll call it a wee day there. So this is me and my tribe. We've got Kennedy, Amelia, Cole and Indy, and here's Paul.